हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू अर्पिता की एनसीईआरटी कक्षा। आप लोगों का स्वागत है आज की लेक्चर में। टुडे वी आर स्टार्टिंग विद चैप्टर नंबर 4 दैट इज ऑन एग्जीक्यूटिव। सो वी हैव सो फार कवर्ड द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, इट्स ओरिजिन, व्हाट इज द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन एटसेट्रा, जो चैप्टर 1 था आपका। वी हैव स्टडीड राइट्स इन द इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, इलेक्शन एंड रिप्रेजेंटेशन। टुडे वी आर स्टार्टिंग विद एग्जीक्यूटिव. Okay, so when we talk about executive, we have studied that the government of India has three organs: the executive, legislature and judiciary. And we know that executive and legislature are interdependent on each other. So when I say that executive and legislature, they are interdependent on each other, what does that mean? That means that the legislature controls the executive and in return it is controlled by the executive. That is the meaning of being interdependent. So in the Indian parliamentary system, legislature, executive are interdependent on each other. One issues the policies, another implements those policies. Okay, and the judiciary, the third one, keeps a check over the policies that are being issued and that are being implemented. When we talk about executive, because today we are going to study about executive, when we talk about this particular body of the or organ of the government, it means body of persons that look after implementation process of the rules and regulations which are launched by the legislature. Legislature जो भी rules regulations निकालता है, acts, policies, strategies बनाता है, उसका implementation कौन check करता है? Executive check करता है. यानी कि उसको field में, on field, practically कौन उसको लागू करता है, कौन उसे apply करता है principle में, वो है executive. Okay, so for example, you have a principal in your school. आपके स्कूल में principal होता है, ठीक है, एंड प्रिंसिपल जो भी पॉलिसीज या जो भी रूल्स रेगुलेशंस निकालता है उसको टीचर्स इंप्लीमेंट करते हैं, राइट? तो टीचर्स पार्ट हो गए एग्जीक्यूटिव के, ठीक है। और यहाँ पर अब हम जो आगे बढ़ते हैं, व्हेन वी मूव फॉरवर्ड, प्राइमरीली द एग्जीक्यूटिव लुक्स आफ्टर द फंक्शन ऑफ two kinds of functions. First function is implementation, second is administration. These are the two functions that the executive looks after. And you all are preparing for UPSC examination, right? So UPSC examination के लिए आप prepare कर रहे हो, that means you are preparing to be a civil servant. If you are preparing to be a civil servant, that means you are a part of executive, because even civil servants are a part of एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन. ब्यूरोक्रेसी जो है वो आपका पॉलिटिकल एग्जीक्यूटिव ही तो होते हैं. वो ब्यूरोक्रेसी इज अ पार्ट ऑफ एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ओनली. एंड वी हैव सीन हियर दैट एग्जीक्यूटिव looks after two kinds of functions: implementation and administration. And you are going to do both of these things. You are going to implement the policies of the government, you are going to administer the districts that are allotted to you, right? So that means you are also part of executive. And now you will understand in a better manner what is the actual role of executive. यहाँ पर आप actual role समझ सकोगे executive का. पॉइंट क्लियर हो रहा है? तो executive basically आपका जो रोल होने वाला है फ्यूचर में उसी पे डिपेंडेंट है. ये पॉइंट आप याद रखिएगा. All right. So here the executive is involved in framing of policies. जो भी policies ministers are framing, they are not framing them alone. The IAS, the IPS, the IRS officers, the IFS officers, they sit with the ministers when the policy framing work has to be done. Okay, point clear? तो आप लोगों का काम ना बहुत important है. That is why I ask you again and again to write answers. That is why I ask you, make it mandatory for all my students who are participating in these batches to write answers. Because if you are not writing answers, that means you are not forming your opinions. You are not thinking analytically. If you are just reading and keeping it aside, यानी कि आप एनालिटिकली सोच ही नहीं रहे, आपके दिमाग में जो चल रहा है उसको पेपर पे ला ही नहीं रहे, फिर आगे आप पॉलिसीज में कैसे अपना योगदान दे पाओगे जब आप अपना व्यू पॉइंट ही एक्सप्रेस नहीं कर रहे हो अभी, ठीक है? इसीलिए make this a habit. Whatever you study, write it on a piece of paper what your opinions are. Whatever you have studied on that topic, what are your opinions? Make it a habit to write it on a paper. Think like an officer, behave like an officer, write like an officer even before being an officer. ठीक है? Point clear हो गया? So here the executive is responsible for implementation of laws and policies which are adopted by the legislature. So आपका काम तो सबसे important काम है, ठीक है? And the political executives in our country are president, prime minister and minister. And the permanent executives are civil servants. So you are going to be the permanent executive. Why I am saying permanent executive? If the president has violated the constitution, he or she could be removed from the position. If the majority falls down, प्राइम मिनिस्टर कुड बी रिमूव्ड, सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट कैन फॉल डाउन, अगर मेजोरिटी खत्म हो गई तो जो गवर्नमेंट बनी हुई है, पार्टी बनी है, वो भी गिर जाएगी. But civil servants cannot be removed from their jobs, until and unless they have committed a very horrendous crime. ठीक है, until and unless उन्होंने कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का खंडन कर दिया है, उनको तब तक इतना इजी नहीं होता जॉब से निकालना. दे आर नोन एज द परमानेंट एग्जीक्यूटिव्स. तो आपका रोल ना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है हमारे नेशन में. ये एग्जाम सीरियसली लेना क्यों जरूरी है? क्योंकि जिस एग्जाम की तैयारी आप कर रहे हो ना, वो एग्जाम ऐसा वैसा यूनिवर्सिटी लेवल एग्जाम है. वो एग्जाम एक तरीके से व्हील्स हैं इस नेशन के. द एग्जाम दैट यू आर प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर आर द व्हील्स ऑफ दिस नेशन. यू आर गोइंग टू कैरी फॉरवर्ड द कार ऑफ दिस नेशन. यू आर गोइंग टू ड्राइव द कार ऑफ द नेशन बिकॉज यू आर द व्हील्स ऑफ द नेशन. ठीक है, डे टू डे एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में यू गाइज विल बी इन्वॉल्व्ड. सो यू हैव टू बी you have to build your mind and your body in such a way that you can deal with any kind of situation or stress. आपके लाइफ में अगर आपको लगता है अभी बहुत स्ट्रेसफुल लाइफ है, तो बच्चे बहुत ज्यादा इजी है अभी आपकी लाइफ. आप गलत सोच रहे हो. स्ट्रेसफुल लाइफ उसकी होती है जिसके सामने 15 से 20 ऐसे क्योटिक सिचुएशन डेली बेसिस पे रहते हैं कि वो अपनी पर्सनल लाइफ को भूल जाता है. ठीक है, क्योंकि उसको पता है कि अगर उसने ये सिचुएशन नहीं डील किए तो नेशन जो है वो प्रॉब्लम में आ जाएगा. ठीक है, नेशन को संभालने की जिम्मेदारी, फैमिली को संभालने की जिम्मेदारी अगर आपको बड़ी लगती है ना, जब आप सिविल सर्वेंट बनोगे तब आपको पता चलेगा इससे फैमिली से भी ऊपर एक बहुत बड़ी जिम्मेदारी होती है, वो है नेशन को संभालने की. ठीक है, फैमिली में फिर भी 4 से 5 बंदे होते हैं, मैक्सिमम 10 बंदे होते हैं जिनकी जिम्मेदारी आपके ऊपर होगी. बट नेशन में जो आपकी करोड़ों की पॉपुलेशन है, उनकी जिम्मेदारी, जिस डिस्ट्रिक्ट में आप हो उसमें लाखों की पॉपुलेशन है, उनकी जिम्मेदारी आपके कंधों पर होगी. और एक एक लाइफ जो है वो मैटर करती है. तो इस केस में आपका जो पोजीशन है ना, काफी इंपॉर्टेंट होने वाला है. ठीक है, सो वी हैव टू think like an administrator, we have to behave like an administrator, write and talk like an administrator. Okay, so यहाँ पर आप आज इस चैप्टर को पढ़ने जा रहे हो जिसमें आप अपनी खुद की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज भी समझोगे. Now the question is, why are the parts and roles of prime minister or presidents different in different countries? For example, the Indian president is like a nominal head. ठीक है, यहाँ के जो प्रेसिडेंट है वो नॉमिनल हेड होते हैं. बट वहीं जब हम यूएस के प्रेसिडेंट की बात करें, वो तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. ठीक है, जैसे कि you see the roles and responsibilities of India's prime minister, same roles and responsibilities are there for USA's president. So why is this, right? So we are going to understand that. See, every nation has adopted different kinds of systems. For example, in USA, the country follows presidential system where the executive powers are given to the president. Okay, then in country like Canada, they have parliamentary democracy which is also known as constitutional monarchy. ठीक है, वहां पर constitutional monarchy है जिसको parliamentary democracy भी कहते हैं वो लोग. Why it is said so? Because the entire governance system has 3 parts: monarch, senate and house of commons. The prime minister is the head of the government over there. Justice Trudeau को आप देख सकते हो. The monarch is Elizabeth II. ठीक है, since 6th Feb 1952 she has been the monarch of Canada, and she appoints the governor general who provides royal assent, that is royal permission to make bills into laws. And the current governor general of Canada is Mary Simon. Okay, and then there is a senate. Now senate जो है, it reviews the legislations, but it is not very dominant in Canada. The dominant part or dominant organ of Canadian constitutional monarchy is House of Commons, जहाँ पर आप देखोगे प्राइम मिनिस्टर हैं जो गवर्नमेंट के हेड है वहां पर. ठीक है, then in France you will see that they have another kind of system that is known as semi-presidential system, where they have both prime minister and president, both are there. Okay, and president appoints the prime minister as well as the other council of ministers. प्राइम मिनिस्टर और उसका जो काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर होता है ना, उसको अपॉइंट करने की जिम्मेदारी फ्रांस में प्रेसिडेंट की होती है. बट द सेमी प्रेसिडेंशियल सिस्टम क्यों कह रहे हैं? बिकॉज ही कैन अपॉइंट देम बट ही कैन नॉट डिसमिस देम. Okay, point clear? Why he cannot dismiss them? Because prime minister is responsible to the parliament. So if he has to be dismissed, parliament will take the decision. All right, that is the semi-presidential system. Then in Japan we have parliamentary system where we have 2 very important personalities. First is the emperor of Japan, who is the head of the state. Second is the prime minister of Japan, who is the head of the government. State का, nation का head emperor होगा और वहां जो government बनेगी उसका head prime minister होगा. Then in Italy we have parliamentary system where president and prime minister are present. President is head of the state, prime minister is head of the government. Okay, in Russia we have semi-presidential system where we have president who is the head of the state. He appoints the prime minister, but he cannot dismiss them. Very good. Why? Because prime minister is responsible to the answerable to the parliament. Okay, and यहाँ पर prime minister हो जाता है government का head. Then in Germany we have parliamentary system. President है, president, and second is not prime minister, second is chancellor. Chancellor यहाँ पर government का head हो जाता है, president यहाँ पर nominal head होता है state का, ceremonial head होता है state का. So in presidential system the head of the state and head of the government is both president only. So president becomes very powerful. In USA, why president is very powerful? Because he is both the head of the state also and head of the government also. But in India we do not follow this presidential system. भारत में हम presidential system नहीं follow करते. In countries like USA, Brazil, most of the countries in Latin America, they follow the presidential system where president is very powerful. Okay, here in this chart you can see there are different kinds of executives. There are two systems. First system based on principles of collective leadership. Okay, where prime minister and president both are present. Collective leadership, they both share the responsibilities. Second type of executive is system based on individual leadership, where only president is given the highest power. Okay, so when there is collective responsibility, we have parliamentary system and semi-presidential system. When there is individual leadership, we have the presidential system. Now in the presidential system, when we talk about the presidential system, for example हम US का example ले रहे हैं. President head of the state होता है, he is the head of the government and he is directly elected by people and he is not accountable to legislature. These features you have to remember. Okay, do not just read them and keep them aside. Presidential system में president is head of the state, president is head of the government, he is directly elected by people, that is why he is very powerful, and he is not answerable or accountable to the legislature because directly he is appointed by the people ना, so he is accountable to the people only. Now collective leadership के case में we have two kinds of system, parliamentary and semi-presidential system. Unacademy is going to come up with all India free scholarship test, Unacademy Ultra Combat, this coming Sunday, that is tomorrow on 17th July 2022 at 11 AM in the morning. There will be a 1-hour prelims mock test which will be conducted on an all India basis free of cost and it will have 50 questions. तो आपको prelims के perspective से इस test को देना है, solve करना है. Here you have twin benefits. First, you will understand your strengths and weaknesses through this test. You will get the video solutions at the end of this test, and you will also stand a chance to win scholarship worth rupees 4 crore. Rank 1 to rank 10 will get 50% scholarship from Unacademy. Rank 11 to 100 will get 30% scholarship from Unacademy. And rank 101 to 1000 will get 25% scholarship. So top 1000 rankers are going to win scholarships and top 250 lucky participants will be winning exciting gifts like MacBook Air, iPad, Samsung Mobile and whatnot. So make sure that you participate in this combat tomorrow at 11 AM. It is going to be a live test, will be conducted both on the Unacademy website and the Unacademy Learning app. The link is given below in the description box. Do not miss this chance at any cost. Now यहाँ पर in parliamentary system we have both prime minister and president, but the head of the government is the prime minister. Okay, and prime minister is the leader of the majority party in legislature. जो भी पार्टी बनती है, गवर्नमेंट जिस पार्टी की बनती है उसका लीडर प्राइम मिनिस्टर होता है. फॉर एग्जांपल मिस्टर मोदी, नरेंद्र मोदी, he is the leader of the party BJP which is in government right now, which has formed the government right now, and he is accountable to the legislature also. And the head of the state may be president head of the state हो सकते हैं, और it can be monarch also, जैसे कि हमने पढ़ा था कनाडा के केस में. ओके, तो इन कनाडा वी हैव कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल मोनार्की. ठीक है. देन वी हैव सेमी प्रेसिडेंशियल सिस्टम. इन सेमी प्रेसिडेंशियल सिस्टम हियर द प्रेसिडेंट इज द हेड ऑफ द स्टेट एंड प्राइम मिनिस्टर इज द हेड ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट. प्राइम मिनिस्टर एंड हिज काउंसिल्स आर रिस्पॉन्सिबल टू द लेजिस्लेचर. यहाँ पर प्राइम मिनिस्टर और उसका जो काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स होंगे वो लेजिस्लेचर के प्रति रिस्पॉन्सिबल होंगे, अकाउंटेबल होंगे, आंसरेबल होंगे. All right, so we have studied presidential system. Now we are going to study parliamentary system. देखो parliamentary system is seen in UK, Portugal, Japan. Okay, so parliamentary system में prime minister is the head of the government and along with the cabinet he has the power. President or monarch is the nominal head of the state and his role is just ceremonial. फॉर द नेम से उनका रोल जो होता है वो सेरेमोनियल होता है, मतलब जो सेरेमनीज होती है उसमें प्रेसिडेंट के बिहाफ पर चीजें कंडक्ट होती हैं. ठीक है. अब यहाँ पर आप देखेंगे दैट इन सेमी प्रेसिडेंशियल सिस्टम, फॉर एग्जांपल श्रीलंका इज इन न्यूज राइट नाउ, सो दे कैन आस्क अ क्वेश्चन डेफिनेटली इन 2023 का एग्जाम, 2023 में श्रीलंका के ऊपर क्वेश्चन जरूर आएगा प्रीलिम्स में, ठीक है, 99% चांसेस तो जरूर है। तो here in Sri Lanka we have presidential system, it's semi presidential system. In semi presidential system now what happens, यहाँ पर क्या होता है that the president can be, the prime minister and president both can be from the same party or both can be from two different parties. Okay, and president has significant day to day powers as compared to the prime minister. Now here in parliamentary executive in India में ना हम follow करते हैं parliamentary executive. Okay, in India we have prime minister and president. President is again the formal head of the state of India. उनके नाम पर सारे notes वगैरह छपते हैं, उनके नाम पर सारे bills वगैरह पास होते हैं. And prime minister and council of ministers, they actually run the government at the national level. And in India at the state level we have governor and chief minister. Chief Minister has his own council of ministers, and the Constitution of India gives executive power of union formally to the president. Formally जो executive power है India की वो president को दी गई है, but in reality this power that has been given to the president is exercised only through the advice of council of ministers by the president. प्रेसिडेंट रियलिटी में जो भी पावर है उनकी, ये जो पावर दी गई है एग्जीक्यूटिव पावर, ये किसकी एड से, किसकी मदद से एक्सरसाइज करते हैं, काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स की मदद से. And this council of minister is headed by prime minister. President is elected for 5 years period, ठीक है, he is elected indirectly, that we have already studied in the chapter of election and representation, ठीक है, proportional representation के मेथड से सिंगल ट्रांसफरेबल वोट की मदद से प्रेसिडेंट को इलेक्ट किया जाता है. President can be removed by parliament by the procedure of impeachment, but that very rarely happens when the president has violated the constitution. इस केस में impeachment का process होता है parliament में और फिर president को निकाला जा सकता है. And council of ministers is there to aid and advise the president to take the decision. And council of ministers advice is binding on the president. President के ऊपर जो council of minister की advice होती है वो binding होती है. For one instance, president can send back the advice given by council of minister to reconsider it, but if the same advice is returned by the council of minister to the president, then the president has to accept it. That is the difference. Okay. And here in India in the parliamentary executive, prime minister and council of ministers are the real executive. The president is the nominal executive. ये होते हैं आपके nominal head या nominal executive, और prime minister along with the council of ministers होते हैं आपके real executive. Now president can also exercise his power using his own discretion. Discretion मतलब अपने खुद के विवेक से, अपनी खुद की समझ से. Vivek means समझ, अपनी understanding, समझ means understanding. So president can exercise his powers or her powers using his own understanding or discretion in 3 kinds of situation. First situation is president can send back the advice given by council of minister, as I told you, and he can ask the council of minister to reconsider the decision. But if the council of minister sends again the same decision back to the president, then he has to accept it. But this is in itself a big thing, that he is sending back the decision for reconsideration. That means some loopholes are there. तो ऐसा होता नहीं है कि council of minister इस बात को ना समझे, वो फिर से उस decision को reconsider करके जो भी flaws होते हैं उनको हटा के अपना decision वापस president को भेजते हैं. Second, president has veto power. He can withhold the permission to the bills passed by the parliament, or he can refuse to accept the bills passed by the parliament. But again, this veto power is limited. The power of the president to refuse to approve a bill or joint resolution, thus prevent its enforcement into the law. This is called veto. Veto का मतलब क्या होता है कि पार्लियामेंट में प्रेसिडेंट की इतनी पावर है कि वो किसी बिल को पास होने से या तो रोक सकते हैं या प्रिवेंट कर सकते हैं. ठीक है. President also can just keep the bill pending for infinite amount of time. That is called pocket veto. अपने जेब में उन्होंने बिल्स को रख लिया, यानी कि he is postponing the passing of the bill. So that is pocket veto power of the president. Okay, point clear? Third important discretion used by president is that there can be a situation that when after election no leader has clear majority. कभी कभी होता है ना कि election के बाद किसी leader का clear majority नहीं है लोकसभा में. In that case, president has to use his own understanding, his own discretion in judging who really may have the support of majority. And he can call that person to form a government, to prove his majority and then form a government. तो प्रेसिडेंट के पास ये भी डिस्क्रिशन है कि मान लो किसी केस में जहां पर मेजोरिटी नहीं फॉर्म हो पा रही है लोकसभा में, क्लियर मेजोरिटी नहीं है किसी लीडर के पास, तो प्रेसिडेंट उस इंसान को बोल सकता है कि आप अपनी मेजोरिटी प्रूव करो या हाउस में आकर, और उसके बाद मैं आपको एज प्राइम मिनिस्टर नॉमिनेट कर सकता हूँ. Now, the most important feature of parliamentary executive is that executive is routinely under the control and supervision of legislature. I told you in the beginning of this lecture only that executive and legislature both are interdependent. What does that mean? उसका मतलब क्या है? That executive is under the control and supervision of legislature because actual policy making power is with the legislature, na? It is for framing the policies. Executive is implementing them. That is why executive is under the control and supervision of legislature because legislature knows how to implement them. कैसे उन्हें implement करवाना है legislature बताता है. Here, council of ministers are collectively, responsible to the Lok Sabha. That means if a minister loses the confidence of Lok Sabha, he has to resign. क्योंकि वो answerable है लोक सभा को. कोई एक मिनिस्टर अगर कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं रहता और मिनिस्टर्स का उनमें और मेंबर्स का उस मिनिस्टर में, तो उसको रिजाइन करना पड़ेगा. Collective responsibility is based on the principle of solidarity of cabinet. That means vote of no confidence even against a single minister can lead to the resignation of entire council of ministers. That is how important the executive is. Executive को हल्के में मत लेना. If you are being given the responsibility of implementing the laws and strategies of the government, and if you are losing the confidence of the members of the Lok Sabha, then the entire council of ministers has to resign. ठीक है, पॉइंट क्लियर हो गया. एंड इफ वन मिनिस्टर इज नॉट अग्रीइंग विद द पॉलिसी और डिसीजन ऑफ द कैबिनेट, इन दैट केस आल्सो ही हैज टू ऑप्शंस. आइदर ही हैज टू अग्री विद द डिसीजन ऑफ द कैबिनेट और ही हैज टू गिव हिज रेजिग्नेशन. ओके. एंड इफ इन केस प्राइम मिनिस्टर डाइज और रिजाइंस, automatically that results into dissolution of council of ministers. Okay, but on the other hand, if a minister in the council of ministers dies or resigns, that creates just a vacancy of that minister. The entire cabinet of minister is not dissoluted. Okay, तो ये आपका difference हो गया between prime minister की power and minister की power. Because of this, Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru described the position of Prime Minister as the linchpin of the government. He is binding the government. Okay, so we have studied so far that executive contains three kinds of positions. One is the Prime Minister, second is the Minister, and third is the bureaucracy or administrative machinery, which we call as the civil services. Now, civil services, if you want to be a part of the services, you have to give this UPSC examination. आपको UPSC का एग्जाम देना पड़ेगा इसको, इस पोजीशन को पाने के लिए. तो UPSC is interested with the task of conducting the process of recruitment of all these officers. Okay, यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हो जितने भी ऑफिसर्स हैं, अरुण बोथरा सर हो गए, जयशंकर सर हो गए, ठीक है, किरण बेदी मैम हो गई, नवजोत मैम हो गई, अथर आमिर सर हो गए, ये सभी जो ब्यूरोक्रेट्स हैं ये कैसे अपॉइंट हुए हैं? ये मेरिट के बेसिस पे अपॉइंट होते हैं. दे आर अपॉइंटेड ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ मेरिट. दे आर सिलेक्टेड इम्पार्शियली ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ मेरिट. ओके, अपने मेरिट के बेसिस पे ये लोग अपॉइंटेड होते हैं. एंड ऑल्सो टू मेक श्योर दैट देयर इज equal opportunity provided to every section of the society to participate in this examination. Reservations also have been provided for women and other backward classes. Okay, so यहाँ पर we know that efficiency and merit are the norms for recruitment. If anybody asks you what are the norms of recruitment of a civil servant, there are two norms. First is efficiency, second is, यहाँ पर आप लिख सकते हो, first is efficiency and second is merit. These are the two norms for recruitment of civil servants. Now, these are very important, but the constitution also ensures that all the sections of the society, like the weaker sections, they have an opportunity to be a part of public bureaucracy. And for this purpose, the constitution has provided the reservation of jobs for the Dalits and Adivasis also. Okay, these provisions ensure that bureaucracy would be more representative and social inequalities will not come in the way of recruitment to these civil services. And the civil servants are politically neutral. That is why you are advised to, write answers that are politically neutral. You should not side with one part of the party, government, or political party, etc. ऐसा नहीं है कि आपको हर पॉलिटिकल पार्टी का साथ देना है या सबको क्रिटिसाइज करना है, क्योंकि ना पार्टीज तो आती जाती रहेंगी पावर में, आपको उसी जॉब में रहना है. तो अगर आपने एक को क्रिटिसाइज किया, कल को उसी की गवर्नमेंट बन गई, तो आपका काम करना मुश्किल हो जाएगा. प्लस आप पार्शियल हो जाओगे पॉलिसीज इंप्लीमेंट करने के लिए. इफ यू आर नॉट लाइकिंग द गवर्नमेंट, you will become partial in implementing their policies also. So you have to be politically neutral. You have to think about the citizens. That is why you are known as civil servants. आपको सिविल सर्वेंट क्यों बोला जाता है? क्योंकि आप सिटीजन्स के सर्वेंट हो, ठीक है, किसी गवर्नमेंट के नहीं. तो आपको सिटीजन्स को ध्यान में रखते हुए politically neutral रह के आपको आपके डिसीजंस लेने हैं. And in Indian bureaucracy, we have all India services, we have state services, we have employees of local government, then we have public sector enterprises के technical and managerial staffs. All these are part of your Indian bureaucracy. So in India, civil services are classified into three types: All India services, Indian Administrative Service and IPS. ये दोनों आते हैं आपके ऑल इंडिया सर्विसेज में. सेंट्रल सर्विसेज इन विच वी हैव इंडियन फॉरेन सर्विस एंड IRS ऑफिसर्स. स्टेट सर्विसेज वेयर वी हैव सेल्स टैक्स ऑफिसर्स. तो अगर आप IAS की रैंक को दिमाग में रखकर पढ़ रहे हो या IPS की रैंक को दिमाग में रख के पढ़ रहे हो, यानी कि आप ऑल इंडिया सर्विसेज के क्लासिफिकेशन में आते हो. अगर आप IFS या रेवेन्यू सर्विसेज को दिमाग में रख के पढ़ रहे हो, तो आप सेंट्रल सर्विसेज के क्लासिफिकेशन में आते हो. इफ यू आर एमिंग टू बिकम सेल्स टैक्स ऑफिसर्स, तो आप स्टेट सर्विसेज के क्लासिफिकेशन में आते हो. Okay, so remember, the position for which you are preparing, it is kind of a tool, it is kind of an instrument through which welfare policies of government reaches the people. तो आप इस बात को भूल मत जाना. ये नहीं कि शान शौकत नाम बंगला गाड़ी के लिए पढ़ रहे हो, नहीं. आपके थ्रू उन लोगों तक वो वेलफेयर पॉलिसीज गवर्नमेंट की जाएगी जो लोग वंचित रहते हैं. ठीक है, पॉइंट क्लियर हो गया. सो ऑन दिस बेसिस दीज आर योर होमवर्क क्वेश्चंस फॉर टुडे. 24 मार्क्स का आपका आज का होमवर्क टेस्ट होगा. फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज प्रीलिम्स बेस्ड क्वेश्चन. पार्लियामेंट्री एग्जीक्यूटिव मींस एग्जीक्यूटिव वेयर देयर इज अ पार्लियामेंट, एग्जीक्यूटिव इलेक्टेड बाय द पार्लियामेंट वेयर पार्लियामेंट फंक्शंस एज द एग्जीक्यूटिव, एग्जीक्यूटिव दैट इज डिपेंडेंट ऑन सपोर्ट ऑफ मेजॉरिटी इन द पार्लियामेंट. 2 मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन है. सेकंड क्वेश्चन, यू हैव टू मैच द फॉलोइंग विद द सर्विसेज. ठीक है. थर्ड क्वेश्चन इज व्हाई इज द एडवाइस ऑफ काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स binding on the president in a parliamentary executive? Just now we have studied na ki advice of council of ministers is binding on the president in a parliamentary executive. You have to write your own opinion. Why is it so? What do you think about it? आपको क्या लगता है ऐसा क्यों है? Now see, very simple question, बहुत easy question है. We know that council of minister, they are elected executive, right? People of the country elect them ना. लोकसभा के जो इलेक्शंस होते हैं, in the लोकसभा elections, the people directly participate in the elections. So council of ministers is an elected executive that has support of the majority. Legislature में जो majority है उनका support होता है इनके पास. So basically it means they have the supreme authority, okay, in a republic. Plus there was this 42nd Amendment Act which was passed in 1976. 42nd Amendment Act 1976 made it very clear that President shall act in accordance with advice of the Council of Ministers, right? So this is the second point why the advice is binding. पहला point हो गया आपका because they are elected by the majority in the legislature, they are elected executive. It emphasizes the supreme authority of elected representative in a republic. Parliamentary democracy में elected representative की authority भी supreme होती है. पहला तो ये reason हो गया. Second reason will be the 42nd Amendment Act 1976 का. And third reason is that the president is just a ceremonial head. We have studied this ना in the starting of the lecture. President कौन होता है? Nominal head होता है, ceremonial head होता है. That is why the power vested with him are limited. ठीक है, to avoid any conflict within the executive. Okay, so these are the three reasons why the Council of Ministers advice is binding on the president. Fourth question, why is it necessary to give powers to legislatures to control the executive? First is legislature and executive are, you will introduce your answer that legislature and executive are interdependent on each other. Now you will explain what is an executive, and then you will explain why is it necessary to give power to legislature to control the executive. देखो, we know that the legislature is elected. हमको पता है ना legislature elect की जाती है, ठीक है. So it is necessary to control the executive to ensure its accountability to the elected legislature, right? And the control over the executive is very important. Why? So that the laws which are being implemented by the executive can be, traced with the help of system of checks and balances. Okay, and this control of legislature on the executive also prevents the domination or personality cult of the executive. अगर executive पे नजर नहीं रखी जाएगी, इनके ऊपर कंट्रोल नहीं रखा जाएगा, तो क्या होगा, ये क्या हो जाएंगे, डोमिनेंट हो जाएंगे. एंड इफ दे बिकम डोमिनेंट, देन द डेमोक्रेसी विल go down, the principle of the democracy will go down. So to check on the arbitrary function and power of the executive, to make them answerable and accountable to the legislature, also to make sure that they do not become dominant, the check, or you can say, or the control of the legislature on the executive is necessary. Okay, तो ये 3 reasons हो जाएंगे आपके. So this is how you have to answer these questions. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. उम्मीद करती हूँ आपको आज का लेक्चर काफी अच्छा लगा होगा. I really enjoyed it teaching it to all of you. So on this note, we are wrapping up the session. Thank you for participating in the class.